All right, hello and welcome. Today we are going to go over rebellion. What is rebellion? What does it mean? Are we even doing it? So many times we find this rebellion and we don't really know that we're rebelling. We think that we are good Christian folk, right? We're going doing the right thing, that we think we're doing so much of the right thing, the right ways. But if we're not careful, we're not doing the right things the right ways. We're doing against the Most High. And when we go against the Most High, that's what we find out. We're doing the wrong thing. Matthew 9:13, but go you and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. There's so much into religion, if you will. There's so much into reading the scriptures. And it's like if you say the wrong word, the wrong way, the wrong thing at the wrong time, it turns people off. Right? You can say chicken's unclean and everybody just ran off. You can say don't eat bacon and this, it depends on what part that you are a part of what you want to be a part of. Now that's kind of sad and hard, but it's the truth. And we see that's what happens with so many people, even with Yeshua, even with the disciples, that they would come and say things. And Paul, he's almost the perfect example. Paul would come and teach for a year. We have an instance of 52, 53, around a year, right at a year is what he preached to these people. Now, a lot of people don't understand the concept, first of all. We have to be real, most people don't understand what that consists of. But to be a true teacher and to truly teach people is teaching them. And it's usually teaching the Torah first, right? What is our first lesson of the day? The Shema. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is Echad. That knocked out 90% of religion right there. The Trinity, the Baptist, the baptism, all this, 3 different ones, is gone in one verse. Hear, O Israel. Deuteronomy 6:4, 6:5. Yahweh is Echad. He's one. You don't have to add to, take away. You don't have to, a lot of this stuff, we spend so much time trying to figure things out. We don't have to figure a lot of it out. We just have to do it. When you was a child, take out your math book, open up to page 12, and start doing the problem on, excuse me, I don't have a math book. Okay, well then, where's your math book? I left it at home. Okay, well we'll get you a math book. You see how quickly that we learn how to do things? So why is it when we jump over to what we should be doing, we don't do it? Excuse me, I don't have a Bible. Well, here you go. What kind of Bible you want? You want the King James Version? You want the Hallelujah Scriptures? You want the Dead Sea Scrolls? What kind of Bible would you like to have in your hands? Now, once we start studying, we glean and we learn from these things, right? But basically, even good old Stewart's Bible is good enough to get you somewhere. It's good enough to read. It's still got Deuteronomy 6:4 in it, right? So we don't have to get really out of hand. We can all have the same Bible right there, right then, and read what he says. Now, the problem becomes, are we rebellious? The seed you see all the time, I see all the time, you go to places and that seed is dropped. It's dropped out there, right? And what is done with it? Have we been followed? So, have we took the seed to heart? Have we took this seed into what should be? Because what happens is when you read the Word or the Word is read to you, then you need to either pick up the Bible and read and make sure that is what it says. That seed is now planted. What you do with that seed is what's going to happen to it. If you water that seed and you read and you study and you find out that is unclean, that is unclean, this is this and that, there's nothing, right? Once we find out what is truth, and truth is the Scriptures, and once we find out what the Scriptures say, then we have to do what it says. If we don't do what the Scriptures say, then it's rebellion, and then it's sin, and then it can be as witchcraft, right? 1 Samuel 15:23. For rebellion is the sin of divination, witchcraft. And insubordination is as iniquity and idolatry, because you have rejected the word of Yahweh. He has also rejected you from being king. Now, if he would reject somebody from being king, don't you think he would reject us from being his children, from being a servant, from being, there's so many things that people say that they are. I'm a pastor, I'm a rabbi, I'm a this, and they love to throw that title like it meant something. But what does it mean? He says, the word says, if even an angel come and preach another gospel, another doctrine, to reject them, to rebuke them. So if they're preaching something different, then that's different. And the problem, what I'm seeing is becoming a big thing, is what I call hot dogism, right? It's somebody who can take the word. It's the same thing that happened in the garden. They'll take the word and put some truth in the word and then twist it and turn it. And that point where your mind's like, did they just say what I thought they said? Does that really mean? And that pivotal moment when you're like, I have to make a decision. Either that's just not true, or it is true, or something's wrong, or I don't know. Right? There's something, that pivotal moment is where the enemy loves to devour people. It's where the enemy goes, gotcha. Because in that decision process is up to you. It's up to me. It's up to the individual. The Ruach saying this, the enemy saying that. There's two separate paths. Definitely, one is to life, one is to death. One's going to lead to destruction, and one's going to lead to an argument, and one's going to lead to this, and so on and so forth. Right? We can see this clearly. Things lead to war. It leads to divorce. It leads to split up. It leads to all kinds of things off of one thing. Oh, well, one time is one too many. Right? At what point does the drunkard become a drunkard? At what time does a dopehead become a dopehead? At what time is too much? The first time. Because the first time leads to the last time. And the last time is the ending. Make sense? We don't want to live that way. We don't want to look at it that way. We don't want to think that rebellion will cost us our eternity. We don't want to think, but we want to secure in believing, oh, I believe Yeshua, I believe the blood, I believe this, I believe that, but he directs us right back to what he says to do. If you love me, keep my commandments. It's a pretty easy concept, but when we take rebellion, and that's what it is. And sometimes we just don't know. But when we see a sign that says 30, school zone, and you stomp your foot down, it's rebellion. You're saying, I don't care about these kids. They ain't my kids. It ain't my school. It ain't my family. I'm in a different state. What do I care? Right? That's what we're really saying. And that's what... Another thing is, it's not how I perceive it, and it's not how you perceive it. It's not your opinion or my opinion. This is what so saith Yahweh. If Yahweh looks at you and says, you have rebelled against me, then we have. It's a correct judgment. The problem is we want to say, but wait a minute now. I kept last Sabbath, I did this, I did that, and we start throwing all these things because that's what man-made does, right? I'm a good wife, I'm a good husband, I'm a good this, I'm a good that. But that doesn't do anything against the rebellion. You can be a perfect servant for 30 years, but then start doing terrible things. Yes, you was a perfect servant for 30 years. We'll give you that. Nobody's saying nothing about that. But what we're talking about is today you went out there and ran over a dog on purpose. You just flat took the four-wheeler and ran over the dog. Why did you do that? Right? Why do kids do things they do? Why do we do the things we do? A lot of times we are getting what we don't understand. Maybe we should look at it as a child view. If you have 2 5-year-olds out there and one wants to do everything to please you and the other one don't really care, eventually the one's going to talk the other one into something to look bad in front of you, right? It may not be in your face. It may not be while you're watching. It may be at another time. But someone is going to be used. So if they dump something in your coffee cup, they dump something in your plate, they pour pepper on your stuff, however they do is what's going to go on there, right? Shalom, shalom. Welcome. So maybe we should look at this more of like a child's view, as a child is doing something and the enemy is trying to get you to do something that you should not do. And the enemy is usually what you call your best friend, your mom, your dad, your this, your that. Sadly, a lot of times this is what the enemy uses. Because a stranger on the street comes up and says, hey, want to buy some crack? Usually you're going to be like, no, because I could go to jail. No, because of this. And no, because... And you got 1,000 reasons why you know better than doing that from a perfect stranger. But if somebody you know, or a so-called blood relative, comes up and tells you something, maybe, why would they say that? They wouldn't steer me wrong. They wouldn't, right? Daniel 8:12. And on account of transgression, the host will be given over to the horn along with the regular sacrifice, and it will fling truth to the ground and perform its will and prosper. A lot of times, if we're not doing the right things, we're just going to throw truth on the ground like it's nothing, right? Even in relationships, even when it's things we don't want to hear. Hey, caught your wife over there with somebody. You're lying. That's a joke. I don't want to hear it. So we throw that truth on the ground. But then we think about it and we think, could that be true? Could that be a thing? Could that be this? Could that be that? And now it's a big deal. But how quickly can we take truth and just throw it on the ground? Proverbs 29:16. When the wicked increase, transgression increases. Beloved, if we know anything, we know the wicked have increased, right? We know for sure the wicked have increased. The parades, the garbage, the lies, whatever they're piping out right now, we can see the wicked have increased. But the righteous will see their fall. So what we're looking for is to keep that righteousness so we can keep their fall. If we hold out, that's all we have to do. Beloved, that's all we have to do is hold out till the end. Whenever the end is. And we don't know that. It could be a twister. It could be this. It could be when you're 99. It could be when you're 100. It could be a bus. It could be anything. But what we're looking for is the truth, and to stay in truth, and not to rebel against our Most High Elohim. Exodus 23 and 21. Be on guard before him and obey his voice. Do not be rebellious toward him, for he will not pardon your transgression, since my name is in him. Folks, you know what this is talking about? It's talking about a prophet. If you know he's a prophet, if you've seen that he's prophesied, if you've seen he's read the word, you've seen he's done these things, and you know he's a prophet, right? That's what we're supposed to be looking for. That's what we're supposed to be under. That's what, and who is supposed to be teaching us? Prophets, men of Yahweh. If not, oh, my pastor's a good man. He's been doing this. Who cares? Does he tell you the truth? Does he keep the Sabbath? Does he have a beard? Does he do anything the Bible tells him to do? Straight King James. We ain't going to get in depth with it. Straight King James Bible. Does he mar his beard, or is he clean shaven? If he's clean shaven, he's rebelling against the Most High, because it says not to destroy, mar the corners of your beard. Now, I may not be the best grammar guy on earth, but reading and comprehension says to mar, to destroy the corners. Now, wherever you think the corners are, it's probably around your head, right? You draw a circle. This is a corner. So, it don't take a whole lot of comprehension to realize he said not to do that. What you do, what other people do, is what they do. But Yahweh says, for you, my children, my men. Let's not get it. Women, you ain't got to worry about it, right? This is not for you. You don't have to worry about it. Unless you're that lady at the circus. Just kidding. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that we don't even need to worry about. Then don't worry about it. But if it does pertain to you, then it pertains to you. So, the whole point is, when the servant says don't do that, it's the same as you reading it. Because you can take it back and read it and say, oh yeah, that's what he's saying. It's the truth. Then this says, if you rebel against him, guess what? How many people are praying to be healed? How many people are praying for this and that? Praying for their car to be fixed, their flat tire, whatever they're praying for. They're praying and they don't answer. They're not answered. Excuse me. They're not answered. He says right here that he will not pardon your transgression, since my name is in him. So if you see somebody walking around with Yahweh, talking about Yahweh and proclaiming Yahweh's laws, his instructions, and then something happens, well, I don't understand. Is it any different? If you had a child out there that's 5 years old and he kept throwing rocks at your car, and you went out there and said, stop throwing rocks at my car, what is wrong with you? You lost your mind? He understood. He quit. He stopped. He said he was sorry. You go back in the house. You walk back out there. You open up the window. You pull back the curtain. Sure enough, he's doing it again. That's rebellion. That's hardcore rebellion, right? When we do it, why is it any different? When we see that, we think there's something wrong with the child. But when we do the same thing to the Most High and his servants and his prophets, Deuteronomy 31:27, for I know your rebellion and your stubbornness. He knows we're rebellious and stubbornness. The problem is, do we? He knows us more than we do, but do we own up to it? Behold, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahweh, how much more then after my death? How much more are they going to be rebellious after Yahweh, after Moses is gone, the one who talked with Yahweh? You see what's happening? Moses is their go-between. And what's going to happen when he's gone? So you see people and they have a go-between and they call upon their pastor, they call upon their prophet, but yet, well, I've listened to this guy for 2 years, but you know what? He said chicken's unclean, he's got this other whole thing and this and that and the other, and you know, that's where I have to draw the line, because I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm going to live the way I want to live. Is that not rebellion? And again, it's not personal. It's not against me. It's not against, you know, a lot of times we take things so personal, but you're really rebelling against the Most High. Isaiah 30:9. For this is a rebellious people, false sons, sons who refuse to listen to the instruction of Yahweh. You know, it's took a lot of years, but it's not personal. They don't hear it. They don't see it. These people will not hear the word of Yahweh. I wonder at points in times if they even hear the shofar. I've come up to, I believe, a Baptist church service in a tent outside and blew the shofar, and not one of them looked. I thought they would all be like, oh my gosh, it's the rapture. But I didn't see one of them look. Do they even hear even that shofar blast? Because you can hear it through a city. You can hear it echoing off the buildings. You can hear it. I can hear it. Matter of fact, I found one of the places we went to because they was blowing shofars. We was upstairs on the second floor. Some women's thing or something. There was, I think, a whole different church service. And we didn't think it was right. Didn't feel right. Didn't look right. And I heard a shofar blowing. Is that a shofar? Walked outside, sure enough, shofar is blowing. Follow that shofar. And there it was, the place that we was actually looking for. It's supposed to be. But you see the difference there? You listen for the shofar. You listen for the word of Yahweh. You're hungry for the word of Yahweh, and He'll feed you. But we could have sat there and said, hey, you know, church is church. What's the difference? I mean, they had balloons and I think cake, and I mean, they had everything. You know, they was having service. We could have sat there and just went on. But it just didn't feel right. Until we heard that shofar is when we learned. Psalms 25:7. Do not remember the sins of my youth or my transgressions. According to your loving kindness, remember me for your goodness' sake, O Yahweh. We don't want Him to remember those rebellious things, do we? We don't want Him to remember. We want it all to be forgiven. But if we continue to do the same things, if we just take everything we hear and say, I ain't got to do it until I understand it. Would you let your child do that? Would have you let your child do that? Hey, go pick up the trash that is out in the front yard. Those cups and those plates. Pick that up. Here's a garbage bag. But why? Excuse me? Why do I have to? I didn't throw them there. What kind of day would that be for that child? What would you do to that child next time he asks you something? I want a candy bar. I wanted this. I want that. Do you now? What are you going to say? You know what you're going to say. You probably just said it in your, remember that day when I told you, and you thought you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to listen to me. Don't you think the Father, if we're made in the image of Yahweh, don't you think He has kind of the same concept? Don't you think that He really kind of believes the same way? Some of the attributes, just maybe a little. Jeremiah 5:23. But this people has a stubborn and rebellious heart. They have turned aside and departed. You know, it's terrible to see, but that is the world we live in. if it's not a blessing, if it's not money, if it's not for me personally, if it's not something that lines my pockets, if it's not something down them lines, a lot of people don't want to hear it. Sadly, they don't want to hear it. We'll do 2 or 3 more and call it. Isaiah 57:4. Against whom do you jest? Against whom do you open wide your mouth and stick out your tongue? Are you not children of rebellion, offspring of deceit? I don't know if you've noticed it a lot lately, but if you've seen anything to do with anything, you see a lot of the tongue sticking out. You see the Miley Cyrus and a lot of people that stick their tongues out. They stick their tongues out in commercials. They stick their tongues out. Is it not amazing? These are things that we should pick up on when we're watching something. We go somewhere and we see somebody like Kiss Parade or Kiss, their tongues hanging out of their mouth. We should realize, whoa, there's deceit. I would even go as far as say it's probably happening in some churches. There's probably some church somewhere that's got a poster of somebody doing that. Somebody up there singing, acting that way. Or a so-called church, I should say. Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, declares Yahweh, who execute a plan, but not mine, and make an alliance, but not of my spirit, in order to add sin to sin. Again, like I was saying in the opening, camel's milk, pig's milk, you can have this and all these deceitful snakeries. It sounds, again, it's a moment of truth. If it's a moment of decision, it's a moment of, is that right or not? And many times it's not a split decision. It should be, is that truth? Is that what the Word says? The Word says, what does it say? Anything, Job 14:4. Anything that is unclean cannot bring nothing clean. A pig and its milk are unclean. A camel and his milk is unclean. Anything unclean, no matter what comes out of it, has to be unclean. Right? We can't have all these idiots things that we say, well, this means that. It's got to be truth. It's got to make sense. Ezekiel 2:7, but you shall speak my words to them whether they listen or not, for they are rebellious. And this is where I think a lot of people quit. They just throw in the towel. They just, oh my gosh, I'm done. These people just won't listen. Ezekiel 2:7, but you shall speak my words to them, whether they listen or not, for they are rebellious. You go to church and we see 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people. They're not there for truth. Most of them are there because of the internet. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be on TV. They want, oh, just for a minute, let me get on there. Oh boy, let me get a little bit of TV time. Let me get a little bit of Hollywood, right? Come on, even if it's, then I can go home and tell all my peeps, my friends, you see me dancing down there in front of everybody? That was me. That was that new dance. We learned it last Sukkot. You know, the twirl and spin. Why is it that we talk like the world? The world talks about TikTok videos and twerking. But if we're not careful, what do we talk about? The latest video and the latest spin and twirl. Instead of I went to Sukkot and I learned about clean and unclean, and I learned about rebellion, and I learned all these things that I should have learned. Instead, well, I'm pretty good at Monopoly. I'm the best at Chutes and Ladders. Man, I won this spades game 4 times. I ran in Boston. Right? So we have to be careful even bringing that stuff into the holy place, into what we say that we're going to be doing. These are holy days. They're set apart days. We should be doing set apart things. Last one, Proverbs 7:11. She is boisterous and rebellious. Her feet do not remain at home. If we're not careful, we have that same thing. We don't want to be a part of the program. We don't want to be a part of the body. We don't want to be a part of good things, even though that's where you should be. For most people, they should have a sanctuary. They should have a house of prayer. They should have a place where they go and listen to their prophet, and the prophet tells them, and there's healings and many wonders and many signs. But in most cases, people want to hear what they want to hear. They want to see all the numbers on the board. They want to see all the people tell them how great they did. Right? They want to do all these things. But they don't want to do what Yahweh says, which brings them to rebellion. So thank you for listening, for watching. May Yahweh bless you. May His kindness shine upon you. And may He grant you shalom. Shalom. Thank you very much for listening, for watching.